this episode, we're talking about cool weather plants for your garden and what their spacing needs are for your garden grid watering system. Hi everyone, I'm Brian Trafficanti from GardenMinutes.com, and this is episode 18 of Easy Growing. On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about fall gardening, heading into winter gardening, and different plants that you can be growing at this time of year. Now, the main theme behind what you can grow in the mid-fall into early winter season are the rustic and hardy type vegetables that you would typically see on your table during Thanksgiving and the winter holidays. There are three primary types of plants that we stick to when it comes to growing this time of year, and the first is going to fall into what's known as the Brassica family. So you're going to have your cabbages, your broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and they're most notably recognized by the head that they produce that you want to harvest when the plant is done growing. Now, when you go to plant them in your garden grid, the plants are fairly large. They produce really large leaves that will commingle with each other, but you can grow roughly one per garden grid square, so you can have a broccoli, a cabbage, and a broccoli and a cabbage. They, you will see the leaves crossing over, but there's enough space beneath each of the plants for the root system to establish itself. Now, these plants are known for being pretty cold hardy and frost tolerant, so you can even have them grow through periods of light snow or short periods of frost, and they'll still do all right. If you're going to have a long period of snow or a long period of frost, they might have some issue because eventually the root system will not be able to keep up. But if you're in areas where you don't expect long frost periods or really heavy snow, they should be all right. The next group that you want to consider are your root vegetables. So you have your carrots and parsnips. That's typically what we like to grow once we get into the winter gardening season. Carrots, depending upon the variety, you can have somewhere from 6 to 16 per garden grid square. Parsnips, they're a bit larger, so you're going to have 1 to 3 per garden grid square, but depending upon their variety. The last family of plants you want to consider are your leafy greens, like spinach or kale. Spinach is not as cold hardy as kale, but you can grow roughly 6 to 9 plants per garden grid square and thin them as needed. Kale, on the other hand, is a much larger plant. You'll typically have 1 large plant per garden grid square, and kale is a bit more frost tolerant, depending upon the variety, than spinach. So if you're more worried about cool weather or really cold weather or periods of light snow or light frost, I would stick to kale over spinach, but both are a fun variety to grow this time of year. So we hope you take advantage of the fall heading into winter gardening season. It's a time to grow some really unique vegetables that you typically don't see, and that's it. So hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time.